Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I'm going to be recapping Neighbours episode 9281, which was originally released on the 22nd of July 2025, and I'm recording this episode just over a week later on the 31st of July 2025. But before I get on with my recap, I won't be showing you a trailer as I mentioned in the last Neighbours episode, because it's the most recent trailer doesn't kind of explain or tease anything that's going on in Neighbours at the moment. So as soon as there's a new trailer, I'll put trailers back into Neighbours episodes, but at the moment there won't be one. So without further ado, here is my recap of a Neighbours episode 9281. Leo apologises to Jane. Leo attempts to explain his actions to Jane. Jane doesn't want to look at Leo at the moment. Jane looks at the portrait Wendy made of Amanda. Leo comes clean to Aaron and Nicolette about recording Jane. Nicolette mentions Jane filming her previously. Aaron gives Nicolette advice surrounding this. Leo, Krista, Aaron and Nicolette watch the recording Leo set up. Nicolette defends Jane. Leo regrets filming Jane. Susan mentions Dr. Bowman. Krista suggests organising someone to cover Holly's shifts in the short term. Susan agrees with this. Holly chooses to attend her shifts like she normally would. Saskia discusses Susan's coffee's order with Max. Tay annoys Byron by laughing. Tay corrects Byron. Max checks in with Byron. Leo, Aaron and Nicolette can't find Jane. Leo finds out from a message from Therese that Jane dropped Isla off with Therese. Nicolette attempts to call Jane. Nicolette can't get in touch with Jane. Wendy offloads to Andrew about her recent storeroom ordeal with Saskia locking her in the one at Erinsborough High. Wendy mentions Jane. Andrew apologises to Wendy. Wendy believes Andrew is still upset with her. Wendy mentions Gretchen and Stephen. Andrew corrects Wendy. Andrew and Wendy disagree. Holly discusses Dr. Bowman with Max and Tay. Max attempts to reassure Holly. Remy expresses her pride in Cara for becoming a police officer. Cara and Remy embarrass Tay. Tay mentions Holly. Max informs Cara that Dr. Bowman is the reason Holly is not feeling herself. Cara attempts to reassure Max and Tay. Cara mentions Holly, Remy and Dex. Jane returns home. Leo apologises to Jane. Jane apologises to Aaron, Nicolette and Leo. Nicolette mentions Amanda's death. Dr. Bowman and Mike. Oh no, it's a comma, not a full stop, so I'm going to say it as it was a full sentence. Nicolette mentions Amanda's death, Dr. Bowman and Mike and Angela's recent engagement. Aaron convinces Leo to go and pick up Abby and Isla. Nicolette wants to have a private chat with Jane. Jane instead chooses to go to bed. Nicolette notices that Jane has taken down the portrait of Amanda. Wendy and Saskia disagree. Jane can't find something. Nicolette has Jane's keys. Nicolette won't let Jane go to work until she opens up about why she took down Amanda's portrait. Andrew answers the door to Holly. Andrew mentions Sadie. Holly mentions the police and Dr. Bowman. Andrew agrees to organise something for Holly to feel safer. Byron informs Leo and Krista that he is leaving. Byron reveals he hasn't told Jane yet. Byron mentions Trevor failing his crate training. Leo mentions Mackenzie and Haz. Byron reveals he's going to reunite Trevor with Mackenzie and Haz by boat. Byron informs Leo and Krista they are the first people that know he is leaving. Krista hugs Byron. Byron and Leo receive a message from Nicolette wanting them to join her at Jane's. Tay believes Byron isn't going to forgive him for a while. Max can see where Byron is coming from. Dr. Bowman attempts to book a car service at the garage. Max learns the person he is currently serving is Dr. Bowman and refuses to serve him. Max asks Dr. Bowman to leave. Max and Tay introduce themselves to Dr. Bowman. Dr. Bowman leaves. Jane explains her recent actions to Aaron, Byron, Nicolette, Leo and Krista. Jane mentions Amanda and Mrs. Mango as well as Vic, Clint, Dr. Bowman and Sue Parker. Jane believes she is turning into Amanda by being lonely. Jane reveals she wants to be with someone. Jane mentions Mike and Angela's engagement. Jane apologises to everyone. Byron and Aaron attempt to reassure Jane, as does Krista. Byron delays telling Jane about him leaving. Byron wants to talk to Nicolette. Holly updates Susan on what the police are going to do about Dr. Bowman. Saskia gives Susan a coffee. Susan informs Saskia of today being Games Day. Susan reminds Saskia what her job entails. Holly reveals what Cara is going to do to attempt to help Holly feel safer. Max and Tay discuss whether to tell Holly about their encounter with Dr. Bowman. Byron informs Max and Tay that he is leaving and will deliver Trevor to Mackenzie and Haz. Byron asks Max and Tay to not inform Jane of this news. Jane offloads to Wendy. Wendy mentions mental health. Susan explains her opinion on Saskia to Wendy and Jane. Wendy reveals what her experience with Saskia was like. Wendy suggests Jane get in touch with Saskia's previous schools. Tay updates Cara about his and Max's encounter with Dr. Bowman. Holly corrects Tay. Cara leaves Andrew a voicemail. Cara attempts to chase Dr. Bowman but ends up running into Remy. Cara checks on Remy. Remy collapses and Cara updates Andrew. We do have a preview of the next episode, which includes Carl assessing Remy. Cara informs Tay what caused Remy to end up in hospital. Carl expresses his concern for Holly. Holly attempts to reassure Carl. Holly believes she sees something that isn't there, and Aaron is worried about Holly. And just a reminder that new episodes of Neighbours will be released Monday to Thursday at 7 AM UK time until the finale on the 11th of December 2025. So we've still got, well, probably when you see we've got about 4 months still of Neighbours, so that's quite a few episodes. So I think it's about, is it right? So yeah, it's 4 months, that's 16 weeks, that's 64 episodes at least still left. It might be more than that actually, 68 or something, I don't know, but there's still quite a few is my point. But now back to this episode. Let me know what you thought of Neighbours episode 9281. If you watched it, my recap. If you didn't, you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well with anything else you want to cover on the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe. And just a reminder, we're now 2 podcast episodes released every single day, with the first episode released at 11 AM GMT and the second episode released at 3 PM GMT. And I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.